welcome all of you from Malaysia, Singapore, and Hong Kong, and wherever. Today is a special occasion because of your presence here with us. So I have to speak in English so that you all can understand. So, first of all, I would like to ask you if you have any question you want to ask me. I can answer your question first. Just raise your hand that you want to ask a question, and I'll send a microphone to you so you can speak through the microphone and ask me whatever you like. So, anybody would like to ask anything? Please raise your hand so we'll send you the microphone that you can then talk to me. Anybody? Or would you like to say anything on behalf of your group? What's your purpose of coming to Thailand? What do you expect to achieve from this trip? Or you just want to be here and be happy just being here? Okay. Well, basically, I'll give you a short talk first. I was going to talk about the three options we have after we die. See, our body will have to die one day. It doesn't last forever. But the mind that possesses this body doesn't die with the body. It will go on, continue on, depending on what it does now. And there are three options or three directions that the mind, which becomes the spirit, can go. One is to go to a realm of undesirable realm of existence, full of suffering. Second, it can go to the realm of heaven, where there's lots of happiness. And the third option is to go to Nibbana, not to return, to reborn again. This is the three options or directions that the spirit, the mind will go, depending on what you do now. If you do a lot of bad karma, such as killing, stealing, committing adultery, lying, and drinking alcohol, after the body dies, the mind will have to go to 4 places of undesirable existence. Being an animal, like being a dog or being a cat, or being a hungry ghost, or being a fearful ghost. And the last one is to be in hell. This depending on what type of bad karma you did. If you did bad karma due to your ignorance, you will be reborn as an animal. If you did bad karma due of your greed, you will become a hungry ghost. If you did bad karma through your fear, you will become a fearful ghost. If you did bad karma due to your anger, you will be reborn in hell. And after you spend your time in these places until your bad karma expires, you will return and reborn a human again. And you will be doing the same thing again. You will come back and then do more bad karma again due to your habit. See, when you do something, you accumulate a habit. So even after you die, the body dies, but the mind doesn't die. And the habit that goes with the mind doesn't disappear. After it has to pay its bad karma. It return and reborn as a human. And still have a bad habit with it. If you used to drink, you will come back and you like to drink again. If you used to lie, you'll come back and you will lie again. If you used to commit adultery, you'll come back and do it again. But you can change this habit depending on the environment that you live in. If you live in a good family, if you're born in a good family who doesn't do any bad karma, they will try to teach you and prevent you from doing bad karma. And if you obey, you don't resist, then you can change your bad habit into a good habit. But if your habit is really die hard, then it will be very difficult. If it's a hardcore habit, even your parents cannot change you. Your parents teach you not to steal, but you still like to steal, for instance. Then it will be difficult for you to change your bad habit. But if you realize one day that your bad habit will lead you to this undesirable realm of existence again and again, like when you came across the teaching of the Buddha, you might then believe or have faith in the teaching of the Buddha and start to reform yourself, change yourself. Then you start doing good karma, like giving dana, doing charity work, keeping the precepts. Then you can change your direction. After you die, you can then go to a happy realm of existence we call heaven, the Deva realms. This is the good karma that you do, like doing charity work, helping other people, practice metta, loving kindness, karuna, compassion. Metta, karuna, compassion, mudita, sympathetic joy, and ubekha, equanimity. Then you will be doing just good karma, and you will try to avoid doing bad karma. But in real time, in real terms, it's not easy to not to do bad karma. You might still do some bad karma, but at least you try to resist as much as you can. But sometimes you might fail. So when you die, you might be, when you die, you might have two types of karma with you. You might have done some good karma and some bad karma. So when you die, it depends on which bad or good karma is stronger. If your bad karma is stronger than your good karma, you will still have to go and reborn in a undesirable realm of existence. But if your good karma is stronger than your bad karma, then you will go to heaven. But whichever realms you go to, you will then eventually come back and reborn as a human again. This is what we call the cycle of rebirth that we are stuck into. We will have to keep coming back and reborn and continue doing our good and bad karma. And the reason for our rebirth is due to our cravings. In Buddhism, we call tanha, kama tanha, cravings for sensual pleasures. We like to see things, we like to hear things, we like to taste and smell and touch things. So we need a body to experience these pleasures. So when we lose this body, we will come back and get a new body. Because our cravings is like addiction. We are addicted to sensual objects, such as images, sound, taste, smell, and tactile objects. So this is the cause of our rebirth. We have to keep coming back to be reborn again and again. If we cannot get rid of our cravings, besides the craving for sensual pleasures, there is also craving for being. Like being what? Being rich, being beautiful, being handsome, being long life, living a long life. This type of craving will propel the mind to keep coming back to reborn. The other one is a craving for not being. Not being what? Not being old, not being sick, not dying, for instance. These are the three cravings, the cause of our rebirth. And if we don't want to return and reborn again, we have to somehow get rid of these three cravings. And in order to do this, we first have to know this. If we didn't come across the teaching of the Buddha, if we haven't come across Buddhism, we will not know that our rebirth are caused by the three cravings that we have in ourselves. But if we come and meet the Buddha's teaching, or meet the Buddha himself, or his noble disciples, we will hear about the Four Noble Truths, the truth of suffering, the truth of the cause of suffering, the truth of the cessation of suffering, and the truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. This is the Four Noble Truths that no one can know except only the Buddha himself. Without the Buddha, the whole world will not know the Four Noble Truths, not know that our suffering due to birth, aging, sickness, death, and separation from the ones we love are caused by our cravings. And how to end this suffering, bring the cessation of suffering to come about. We wouldn't know it if we hadn't heard about the Four Noble Truths. The way to stop your suffering, stop your rebirth, is to stop your cravings, the three cravings. And in order to stop your three cravings, you need the path that leading to the cessation of suffering, which is the Noble Eightfold Path, starting with Sammaทิฏฐิ, right view, Samma Sankappo, right thought or right thinking, Samma Kammanto, right action, Samma Vaca, right speech, Samma Achivo, right livelihood, Samma Vayamo, right exertion, Samma Sati, right mindfulness, and Samma Samadhi, right concentration. These are the tools we need to develop if we want to stop our cravings. Right now we cannot stop our cravings. We still want to go see and hear things all the time. Because when we cannot do what we wanted to do, we feel miserable, right? If we have to stay at home all the time, we feel miserable. But when we can go outside and go to see people and things and eat and drink and do whatever we want to do, we feel relief, we feel happy. But these are short-lived happiness. After we have done that, when we come back home, we feel empty again. We feel the need to go out again. So we have to keep going out, keep going after sensual pleasures. And we cannot stop it simply because knowing that these cravings are bad for us. It's not, we are not strong enough yet. So we have to build up the tools to make us strong. And the tools that make us strong is the Noble Eightfold Path. So we have to develop the Eightfold Path. The first one is called right view. We have to remind ourselves that our sufferings, our aging, sickness, and death are caused by our cravings. So we must try to reduce our cravings. And so we have to have right thinking. Instead of thinking about going after sensual pleasure, we should start to think about abstaining from sensual pleasures, like taking the 8 precepts. When we take the 8 precepts, we are abstaining from going after sensual pleasures. Like we cannot eat after midday. We only eat to live, not live to eat. If we live to eat, we are living for the pleasure from eating. But if we eat to live, I mean we eat to survive, to keep the body going. And eat to live, we don't have to eat so much. We can eat until before midday. That's good enough for the body. Then after that, we try to abstain, refrain from eating, because we want to use the time in the afternoon and at night for meditation practice, to developing mindfulness, right mindfulness and right concentration. So this comes to the third path, which is right action. We have to keep the 8 precepts, abstain from killing, stealing, and sexual activity if we keep the 8 precepts. And also abstain from lying, abstain from drinking alcohol, and abstain from eating after midday, abstaining from all types of entertainment, like watching movies, going dancing, going outside to bars or pubs or to restaurants, to theaters, so forth. We have to try to stay at home or inside a temple so that we can practice meditation and develop mindfulness. And we also should not sleep too much, because we want the time to spend for practice. But if we sleep in comfortable bed, we will sleep more than the body needs. Normally, the body needs to sleep about 4 or 5 hours a night. But if you sleep on a comfortable bed, after the body have rested and get up after 4 or 5 hours, you don't want to get up yet. You want to continue on sleeping, because you have a comfortable bed to sleep in. So in order to prevent you from sleeping too much, oversleeping, then you have to sleep on the hard floor, which is not comfortable for the body. But it suffices for the body to rest. So after the body has slept for 4 or 5 hours, when you wake up, you don't want to continue to sleep because it's not comfortable. So then you can get up and do your meditation practice instead. So this is right action and right speech. Right livelihood is we should make our living not on killing other people, like don't hurting other people or animals. Don't kill chicken or duck, or don't make it a profession for you. Do livelihood or the profession that doesn't hurt anybody, like being a nurse, being a doctor, selling clothing, something like this. Doing something that is useful or beneficial. Livelihood. You don't want to hurt other beings, because it can come back to you, because it's bad karma. Then next to the livelihood is the right exertion, right practice. What does the right practice mean? The practice of keeping the precept, the practice of developing mindfulness, and the practice of meditation to calm your mind, to bring your mind to peace and contentment. So that's the what we call right exertion or right practice. Then followed by right mindfulness. That's what we have to do. We have to develop mindfulness. Mindfulness is the tool to stop our thought, our thinking. If we keep thinking, our mind can become restless and agitated and not happy. And that can lead us to do more cravings, because we thought when we're not happy, we need to have some sensual pleasure in order to make us happy. But that's not the right way of making your mind happy. The right way of making your mind happy is to stop thinking, to enter into jhana. And in order for the mind to stop thinking, you need mindfulness, something to prevent the mind from thinking. And the way to develop mindfulness to stop the mind from thinking is to use an object, such as you can use the body, or you can use a mantra, such as the word Bhutto, Bhutto. If you want to stop your mind from thinking aimlessly, you have to recite Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. If you continue on with Bhutto, you cannot go think about other things. Or if you want to use the body as the object of mindfulness, you can keep watching your body all the time. Tie your mind to the body. Watch every movement, every activity of the body, so that you cannot go think about other things. This is what right mindfulness is. It's a method of pulling your mind away from the thoughts. If you're watching your body, you cannot go thinking about somebody else. If you're thinking about somebody else or something else, it means you're not watching your body. Same way with using the mantra. If you recite Bhutto, 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 you cannot go think about this or that person or thing. But if you go and think, then it means you're not reciting Bhutto anymore. You're not mindful anymore. So the whole purpose here in developing mindfulness is to prevent your mind from thinking. Because when your mind doesn't think, it can become still, peaceful and happy, and enter into jhana and have equanimity. Equanimity is a state of mind that is neutral, having no emotion, no love, no hate, no fear, no delusion. This is the type of mind that we need to have in order to use wisdom, which is right view, to stop our craving. If we have equanimity, our mind will be strong. And when we develop wisdom, seeing that our sufferings are caused by our cravings, we will then stop following our craving. And when we don't follow our cravings, do what our craving asks us to do, then eventually the craving will disappear from the mind, completely, forever. And when there are no more craving left in the mind, then the mind doesn't have anybody to push it to go take rebirth again. No rebirth. When there's no rebirth, there's no aging, no sickness, no death, no separation from the ones you love. Then you are free from suffering forever. A mind that doesn't take any rebirth, and the mind that has completely eliminated all cravings, is called Nibbana. That's the mind of the Buddha and the noble disciple, the Arahant disciple. This is the way to solve our problem forever, completely, once and for all, is to stop rebirth, not return to take birth again. Because even if we be born as a rich person, we will still have to face the suffering of the body. The body still get old, get sick and die, regardless of what type of person you are, whether you're rich or poor, well-known or not well-known, you will still have to suffer the suffering of the body. And if you don't want to go through this suffering again and again, you have to eliminate your cravings from the mind by the practice of the Noble Eightfold Path. You can start with the lower practice first, like keeping the precepts, keeping the 5 precepts, and do charity work, do dana. If you have money and you want to be happy, instead of buying something new, something you don't really need, give it to charity, help other people. Because the happiness you get from charity lasts longer than the happiness that you get from buying something you like. When you buy something you like, you might be happy for a few hours. Then after that, it's gone. But if you give it to charity, help some people or organization, after you have given it, even after a few days, when you think about it, you still feel happy. But when you think about what you bought a few days ago, instead of being happy, you're not happy. You want to buy more. So if you want to use money, spend money to give you happiness, then the Buddha says spend it on charity, on dana. And when you spend money on charity, on dana, you also develop metta, or loving kindness. Because when you help other people, you are having metta, having loving kindness. You want to make other people happy. You don't want to hurt other people. So it will be easy for you to keep the 5 precepts. Because the 5 precepts is the action to prevent you from hurting other people, so that they don't come back and hurt you. Because according to the law of karma, if you hurt other people, they will want to hurt you back. If you don't hurt them, they don't hurt you. If you help them, they help you. So it will be easy for you to keep the 5 precepts. If you practice charity, if you are generous, if you are kind and loving toward other people, then you'll find it easy for you to keep the precepts. Because you want it just to make people happy. You don't want to hurt other people. But if you don't do charity, you want to do everything for yourself, spend money on yourself, you are becoming selfish. And you don't care how you might hurt other people or not through your action, as long as it makes you happy. So this is the reversal of the practice of selfishness. By giving dana, by practicing charity, you're eliminating your selfishness also, which is the cause of your doing bad karma. When you're selfish, you just only think about yourself. You don't care what your action might affect other people. But if you're not selfish, when you do something, you are careful. You want to make sure you don't want to hurt other people. So you automatically have precept, the sila, without having to try, because through your practice of charity. So this is what you first do when you're still not able to keep the 8 precepts and practice meditation yet. Because in order for you to keep the 8 precepts and do meditation practice, you have to stay in the temple, and you have to have strong mind to be able to resist your cravings. But by practicing charity and keeping the 5 precepts, it will slowly develop your mind to become stronger. Then you might feel like you might be able to try at least 1 day a week. So maybe you start keeping the 8 precepts on the observance day, 1 day a week, and try to refrain from sensual activities, and start learning how to meditate, how to develop mindfulness. So you might go to a temple or to some quiet retreat and keep the 8 precepts and start practicing mindfulness. Try to be mindful all day long. You have to do it on a day. You don't have to do any work and don't have to do any activity with other people. Have one day off for meditation activity, for developing mindfulness and sitting in meditation. So you can do walking meditation, sitting meditation. This is the practice of mindfulness. And if you continue on doing this slowly and gradually, your mind will start to become calmer and calmer. And then eventually you will be able to make the mind to become calm or still. When your mind becomes calm and still, you will experience another kind of happiness. The happiness that is higher and better than the other kind of happiness. When that happens, then you are ready to stop your cravings, to get rid of your craving. Because your craving only gives you a lower type of happiness. Sensual pleasure is not good, it's not as happy as the happiness you gain from meditation. So once you have happiness from meditation, then you can stop your sensual pleasure craving. You can use meditation for your happiness instead. So eventually, you will then be able to get rid of all your cravings. And then there will be no cravings to lead you to reborn again. Then you will become a noble disciple. You will not have to reborn again. You will be staying with the Buddha in Nibbana forever. The mind doesn't die. Doesn't matter how. The mind is the knowing element. It doesn't die with the body. The body is composed of the four elements of earth element, water element, wind element, and fire element. But these four elements can combine temporarily. After a while, they will have to separate. That's when the body dies. When the four elements can no longer combine, unite with each other, they separate. They go their separate ways. But the mind doesn't die with the body. The mind is a knowing element that doesn't break up. Just like the other four elements, they don't break up either. The water element, the earth element, the fire element, the wind element, they don't break up. They only combine to make a body. Like right now, we have this body. It's made up of the four elements. But one day, these four elements will have to separate. When they separate, then the body will then disappear, return to the earth. The earth element go back to the earth element. The wind element go back to the wind element. The water element go back to the water element. The fire element go back to the fire element. The knowing element then have to be separated from the body, from the other elements. But if the knowing element still contains craving, the desire for sensual pleasure, then this knowing element will then have to go look for a new body and take rebirth again. But if the knowing element has no longer have any craving, then there will be nothing to push this knowing element to take up a new body again. So then, for that knowing element, it is free from suffering forever, because it doesn't take up any new body anymore. As long as you still have to take up a new body, you will still have to suffer, because the new body will eventually get old, get sick, and die again. So the purpose in Buddhism is to stop rebirth. And in order to stop rebirth, we have to get rid of our cravings. And in order to get rid of our cravings, we have to have the Noble Eightfold Path, or the practice of dana, sila, and bhavana. This is the practice of the Noble Eightfold Path. Once we have practiced and being able to make our mind strong enough to resist our craving, then we can stop our cravings and not return to reborn again. So this is what we all need to do if we want to be free from suffering forever. We have to start practicing charity, dana. We have to practice sila, starting with the 5 precepts, then move up to the 8 precepts, or the 10 precepts, or the 227 precepts, up to your strength. Some people have strong mind; they can keep the more precepts. Then they can have more time to do more meditation practice. And with more meditation practice, you'll make the mind stronger until the mind will be able to eventually resist all cravings. Then once all cravings are resisted, then there will be no craving that can push the mind to take rebirth again. Then the mind becomes totally free from suffering. This is the goal in Buddhism, to be free from suffering, to go to Nibbana by the practice of dana, sila, and bhavana, charity, morality, and meditation. And this is the purpose of your visit here, is to study, to learn more about how to practice dana, sila, and bhavana, so that you can then do more practice. When you are assured that the practice of dana, sila, and bhavana will lead you to more internal happiness, happiness of mind, happiness of heart, and cessation of suffering. You will become inspired to do more practices. So I hope that this trip of you will help you, to inspire you to do more practice of dana, sila, and bhavana. So I would like to end this talk by giving you the anumodana. And then afterwards, you can give us the offerings, whatever you want to offer. And when we finish with the offerings, if you want to ask any more questions, we can. Or maybe should we ask question now? Do you have any question? If you didn't understand what I say and you want to ask me to expand, to clarify, you are welcome to do it now. Maybe better to do it now so we can get this thing out of the way. Anybody who would like to ask any question, you are welcome. Just to raise your hand and we'll send you the microphone. Okay. มีข้างหลังอยู่คนนึงช่วย or can you come out here? If you can, please come out here. Yeah, come here. We'll give you the microphone here.
Excuse me. Ajahn, okay, Namaskaran เจ้าค่ะอาจารย์ Okay, could Ajahn teach how to develop and cultivate the Appamana Samadhi in order to fully destroy the defilements such as ill will and sensual desire?
By developing mindfulness all day long.
Yes, all the while, we practice the sati.
From the time you get up, you have to start using mantra, or watching your body. Keep watching your body, every movement of your body. From the time you open your eyes, you have to see what position your body is in now. It's lying down, okay. When it's getting up to sit down, you have to keep watching, continue watching the body. Or you can use the mantra Bhutto, Bhutto. The purpose is to stop your mind from thinking. And whatever your body do, be mindful or use the mantra. If you can continue with mindfulness, then when you meditate with anapanasati, you sit down and close your eyes and watch your breath at the tip of your nose. If you can keep concentrating, watching the breath without thinking about anything, then the mind will enter into appana samadhi.
Is it that automatically will?
Yes, just focus on watching the body or the breath when you sit down. Don't worry about first jhana, second jhana. Don't worry at all. Just worry about the breath. Just keep focusing on your breath. If you're using anapanasati, If you use mantra, just keep recite Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Then this Bhutto or this Anapanasati will lead your mind to full concentration, to Appana Samadhi. But when we first started, you don't get to Appana Samadhi yet. You get to Kanika Samadhi first. Kanika means short Samadhi, not long, briefly. Your mind can become concentrated just for a brief moment because your mindfulness is not yet strong enough to keep it longer. But if you continue with your practice, develop more mindfulness, eventually you'll be able to concentrate the mind for a longer period of time. We call Appana Samadhi. So you have to spend a lot of time developing mindfulness and sitting in meditation.
Yeah, all the while practice
Okay.
sitting meditations.
You have to do many days, many months, many years.
Yeah.
Some Ajahn took many years before they can get to Appana Samadhi. And you have to have nothing else to do either. You only have just time for doing mindfulness and meditation. So you have to become a monk or a mechi to be able to do this effectively. Okay?
Okay, sadhu.
All right. Anybody else? Nobody? Okay, in that case, I'll give the Anumodana. Yā thā vā li vā hā purā paripurenti sākhalang eva me vā ito tinang petanang upakapati ichitang patitang tumhang kipa me vā samichato sapphe purentu sankapa janto panna raso yatha manichote araso yatha sappitiyo vivachanto sapparoko vinatsato mate bhavatavantarayo sukhiti kayuko bhava apivatanasīlissa niccang uttapacayino Jataro Dhamma Vatanti Ayuvano Sukhang Halang